We are back with the first video of 2025 and it is a goodie because I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 romance manga reads of 2024 and what a year it was for romance manga. I mean, I fell in love with so many more stories, characters, I have new obsessions, and I have to give it to you guys. A lot of these were recommendations from you, so thank you so much for making 2024 fabulous. So to whittle down top 10 was hard. You know me, I am in love with so many of these stories and I gush about them to a ridiculous degree. So I had to look at every single manga I read from a very critical viewpoint, and I looked at how it made me feel, how obsessed I became, etc. And mangas that could have made the list were new mangas I started this year, plus ongoing mangas, but they had to have had a book I read this year. So I couldn't say like Kimi ni Todoke because I finished all of that in 2023. However, if I read like most of the story in 2023, but then I read a couple of volumes that I hadn't read before in 2024, I've included them in the list if that volume was top tier. Also, I want to know what your top 10 romance reads were of last year. So please do pop your top 10 or top 3 in the comment section, either now or at the end of the video. I really want to see if any of our top 10 or top 3 mangas align. And if not, it's just fun. It's fun to share what we've all been reading and what manga has absolutely made us obsessed in 2024. So without further ado, let's get into my top 10 romance manga reads. At number 10 was a toss-up between two mangas. We've got the seinen manga, Yakuza Fiancé, and the shoujo manga, Firefly Wedding. Now, what do both of these have in common? They've got absolutely unhinged, psychotic, red flag, obsessed male leads. And what ended up winning was Yakuza Fiancé. It's a drama, action, Yakuza romance, okay? So that is like mafia gangs. I love it. Every single volume made me so much more obsessed. It is an ongoing series with 8 volumes currently out. This is the only red flag male lead in this top 10. So going forward, they're all greeny flags, but he is the exception. I've gone into why I don't agree with his hate in the video, which I hyped this manga up. I will link it in the description box below. Honestly, the bickering, the banter, and the tension between our two main leads, Kirishima and Yoshino, was everything. Literally had me by a chokehold. Our guy Kirishima, he is obsessed with Yoshino, but Yoshino is like, she doesn't even like him enough or hate him enough to care about anything he does at the start of the manga, but slowly we're seeing her warm to him, and the later volumes, volume 8, it's giving me everything. It's giving me everything I need. Now, you will love this if you like an arranged marriage trope, if you like kidnapping. Power play between these two is top tier. There's deception, then a crazy obsessed male lead. Like, I'm talking cray, you do not know what's going on in his head. We're slowly learning a bit more about him, but still a question mark. And then a independent, strong female lead who is also a bit unhinged and crazy. She fits into some of the stereotypical heroine tropes, but then she absolutely breaks loads of them, so she's very unique. We haven't seen crazy amounts of romance, but the build-up is there, and when you get little flashbacks, this is what had me. This is what had me on the floor of Kirishima taking care of Yoshino in the background. Like when she was shivering in the car and he pulled her onto his lap and was stroking her hair. And he had that flashback of when someone was like, you will know when you love someone, when you really care about them. And he's like, boom, this is that moment. When these two finally properly share their feelings for each other, they are going to be unmatchable. They're both going to be crazy and no one is going to be able to touch them, I'm telling you. Plus, I mean, they're both from gang families, so there's no messiness in one of them being like, oh my God, gangs, and scared of blood and all of that. She's like, she's used to this. She can stand in a room full of craziness going on, and he can cause the craziness and should be absolutely fine with it. So, perfect pair. Number 9 was actually a shock to me. When I first looked at it, I was like, this is not going to make the list. But when I really thought about how this manga made me feel, and I was so happy with how it concluded and how unique the premises was out of any romance manga I've ever read, it had to make the list at number 9, and that is Haru's Curse. Now, this is a josei manga series, and it's completed at 2 volumes, and it was a drama slice of life romance, but it does talk about suicide and death, so trigger warnings before you go into it. But my oh my, did these two make me fall in love with them and gush over them in just 2 volumes. Do you want to read a romance of 2 introverts falling in love and going against their family's wishes? Because if you do, this is the manga for you. It is a weird situation because her sister has just died, and then she's agreed to date her dead sister's fiance. So it's a bit twisty. However, the chemistry between Nasumi and Togo was fire. I mean, you could not deny their pull to each other. The way their relationship grows is very twisted. It's sad, but beautiful all at the same time. And they're both very misunderstood, definitely within their families, and they feel like outsiders. The thing that really got me was Nasumi is someone who doesn't like to be in the limelight. She likes to go about her day to day and not be that seen. However, Togo has been watching her from the sidelines, from the shadows, and he's seen everything and he loves everything about her. Oh, so good. So unique. You must read this. Also, I liked the art style. Everyone was very lanky. I don't know how to describe it, but it added to the eeriness of the romance, if that makes any sense. Number 8, we finally have our first shoujo on the list. Oh, I love it. I am so obsessed, and it is Studio Cabana. I know this was recommended by one of you guys, and thank goodness you did, because these two have sent me on a roller coaster of emotions, and I can't get enough of them. Studio Cabana currently sits at 7 volumes, it's ongoing, and it's a slice of life romance that is set in school, but I wouldn't call it school life per se, because it really does focus on the relationship and the musical band side of the male lead and female lead's lives. Yukari and Yusuke, why are you doing this to me? Because when I'd say to you slow burn, I mean slow burn. And to make matters and make the romance more intense, this is a one-sided unrequited love story. Why Yukari? I feel so bad for you. I feel for you, girl. Everything that you are feeling, I am feeling. She is in love with the singer of a band, and he is in love with someone else, and he's writing songs about them. Now, you might be asking me, Ashley, how can a romance manga make a top 10 list when there's been no romance yet? Well, let me explain to you why. We have unrequited love, so that's yearning and longing for the other. We get to read and see their relationship grow and blossom, and we know how good they would be for each other. We just haven't got it yet. Like, it's that bittersweet taste of almost getting something that you really want but not getting it. What makes this stand out is the character development of all of the characters, and I'm talking about mainly our 2 main leads. Like Yukari, she's clearly going through it, but at the same time she does stand on her own 2 feet, and the way she lightens and just, my God, I can't even speak about it without getting gushy, emotional. Do you want these feelings? Because if you do, please read this manga. But she really does make Yusuke see the light, and see that life is worth living and having interactions with other people is worth it. Yusuke, he really is that delinquent child who doesn't want to go to class, doesn't see the point of it, doesn't see the point of friendships and putting in effort, only unless it's to music and this one person. But he is going through a lot of self-reflection, and I love his journey, and the cards are slowly turning for us readers. We're seeing him finally open his eyes and seeing what a queen Yusuke is. So I'm ready. I am ready for their romance to blossom and shine, and I want to read their love story forever. Now at number 7, one that has my heart. Again, though, this was a coin toss between two shoujo school life romances. And we have You Are Too Naive, My Sweetheart, or It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love. Now, they're different, but they're quite similar. And I went with You Are Too Naive, My Sweetheart. Oh my goodness. You can't. This is a firecracker manga. The romance, the comedy, everything is done to an excellent degree. It completed with 7 volumes this year, and when I finished that 7th volume, this girl cried. If you are someone that likes ex-delinquent male lead and then a clumsy, fluffy female lead, this is for you. Like, how have you not read this manga yet? It is sublime, and the way these two look at each other, treat each other, everything about them melts my heart, has me gushing, crying, everything. It was the perfect rom-com because Nana, this girl, her easy moments had me rolling on the floor laughing. I really want to know what your favorite Nana easy moment was. I've actually posted my favorite Nana easy moments on the community tab. I think I picked like 5 pictures. She makes me laugh so much. Sudaka falls first. He does. And I'm telling you, he falls harder. He knows how to treat her from the get-go. And he is so emotionally mature when he speaks about their relationship and what he wants out of it and how he wants to treat her and how Nana changes his life. It blew me away. And then the way Nana just always wants to uplift him and prove to him that he needs to go out of his comfort zone and really show who he really is to other people, because he's such a lovable character and she wants everyone to know that. They are perfect. So if you want to read a rom-com with amazing comedy, absolute top tier romance, and the greenest green flag you can get out of a guy, and if you want to read about a female lead who literally at the start of the manga is shy, very, very bashful, literally a touch from anyone will get her blushing and having an easy moment, to becoming this very strong and loving and confident character who then only gets bashful for that one special person. You know what to do. It's read this manga. Coming in at number 6, we have the most emotional and heartfelt, raw manga of the top 10. And coming in at number 6 is Perfect World. I can't. The tears that flowed throughout reading this 12 volumes. Honestly, I don't know how I had more tears to cry. I binged this in literally a couple of days and it is completed. It's a josei drama romance that focuses on relationships and disabilities. So it was very different to what I've ever read before, but the realistic side of this romance was, I don't even know how to describe it. It felt so real, and I felt like I knew these characters and I was going through what they were going through. Like, that's how drawn in this manga gets you. I really, really want you to read this, but go into it knowing that your heart will be crushed. If you typically like a childhood friends romance, I think you will like this manga because Itsuki and Sugumi used to be childhood friends. They went to school together. Our girl had a massive crush on our guy, but they never said anything. They lost contact after school, and then when they're adults, they rekindle because of a work project. So this is kind of a workplace romance as well. But throughout their time apart, Itsuki was involved in an accident and he's now paralyzed from the waist down. So life is very different, and it delves extremely deep into what the disability does to the person that's going through it, but also what it does to their family and their friendships, and also their love relationships. Lastly, it highlights so well that romance is different for everyone. There are so many different types of relationships out there, and you don't have to fit into the norm. Physical relationships are not for everyone, and sometimes what's more important is the love that you have for yourself, letting others love you, and knowing you are worthy of love. And this is that in a nutshell. Now we're reaching top 5, so we're leaving the emotional romance and we're going to a college romance. Can you guess what it is? I think I've only read 2 college romances, maybe 3, but it is How I Met My Soulmate. What a freaking good manga. This is a shoujo. How many volumes? It has 6 volumes. It's still ongoing. And I'm telling you, my friends, each volume gets better. There is no lull. Reading this, I feel like I'm watching a TV show. Does anyone get where I'm coming from when you read this manga? Like, it does not just focus on the 2 main characters. There's other people and other things and storylines going on. And I love so many characters in this. Like, I'm rooting for every romance going on, even if it makes it a love triangle. I'm obsessed. If you love a male lead who tries to act cool, he's also in a uniform because he's a dentist, but then he does get jealous without realizing, then this is for you, because our guy Iori is the king of this. He's like, I'm cool, calm, and collected. I don't care if Yuki hangs out with a guy that I know really likes her. It doesn't bother me. I'm confident in myself. But as soon as he sees them together and they've got something going on and he's like, what's that? What's happening? Our guy gets jealous and he's a bit reactive, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It has a bit of miscommunication at the start. Like, we think Iori is a lot different to who actually he really is. We get to know a lot more about his family, mainly his older brother. There is some character development, mainly from Yuki. We don't really get much character development or movement from Iori, but the way Yuki is becoming more self-confident, she just wants to find her soulmate, and we get to know her past love with Seno when they were in school together. Then we have her new love with Iori and how she's going about her feelings with him. When I look back from the 1st volume to the 6th, we are only scratching the surface of our male lead and female lead's relationship. Also, the style of everyone looks like models instead of college students. 4th place goes to a romance manga which has me in fits. This female lead, I am in love with her. I know I've said that so many times in this video, but I freaking am. This is a shoujo fantasy romantic comedy called Hi, I'm a Witch and my crush wants me to make him a love potion. I need more volumes. I need more volumes now. This is ongoing. There's only 4. It's another unrequited love story, but this love has been brewing for 4 years, people. Our girl Rose has the biggest crush ever on our prince character. What is he called again? Hariju. Sorry, Hariju. He is this knight, which just reminds me of like a knight in shining armor, Prince Charming kind of character, who wants a love potion, so she has to make it for him. Rose's internal monologue absolutely kills me, and the way their love blossoms is very sweet but insanely awkward. Like, these two are so awkward. They're reactive to every situation. They don't know how to act around each other, and the way they slowly become more comfortable as the volumes go on will have you kicking and squealing, just like me right now. I just love them. Rose is our hermit character. She has like always lived alone. She always helps everyone else and never asks for anything, but she does want that companion, but she has a lot of self-doubt and a bit of self-loathing. However, who might that companion be? It may be our knight in shining armor. The way he thinks about Rose is so odd at the beginning, and he sees her as like, oh, well, she's a lonely woman. I'm gonna have to see if she's getting fed, and how is she living alone? How is she managing all of this? Bear in mind, Rose knows to handle everything and she can look after herself. So he then comes about and sees her a bit more. This is a must-read fantasy rom-com. Please. We have now reached our top 3. I swapped and changed the order of them so many times. It took me so long. But coming in at number 3, we have a seinen, and this is a slice of life workplace romance. The content is a bit more mature and it has amazing comedy, and that is Sweat and Soap. Oh my goodness. This is romance. This is romance. If you haven't read this, you need to. It had 11 volumes, it's completed. Do you like reading about keeping a relationship secret? They don't want anyone to know at work, so they have to sneak around. We have our very, very shy female lead, and then our confident and popular male lead. So they're from different worlds. They are insanely different in that degree of how they feel about themselves and how they interact with other people. But when together, they are fire. They are everything. Their love is a million stars bursting. And I don't know where I'm going with this analogy, but it's that amazing and explosive, and they're addicted to each other. Like, I'm telling you, these two are obsessed with each other from the get-go. Mainly our guy. Oh my God, our guy, Kotaro, he is absolutely obsessed with sniffing Asako. So it is a bit of a weird premises. He loves smells, and her smell gives him a lot of inspiration of soap lines he wants to bring out, because they both work at a soap making company. She's in the finance and he's in the design and the creative team. But please do get past that creepy premises, because don't let it fool you. This is a great, great romance. The communication these two share and have, what they go through from liking each other to then going out secretly to then telling people, moving in, every single life stage, meeting their families. You go through every single part of their relationship. There is nothing skipped. And I would follow them forever. I was ready to go with them straight through to the funeral home. He is such a green flag and so respectful, but also when he's hurt, he's not afraid to tell our girl. And our girl is learning a lot in terms of relationships and letting people into her life, because she's been very lonely and kept herself to herself for a long period of time. And watching her grow, my heart. At number 2, we have my absolute favorite Shoujo school life romance. Like, this is top tier. It was everything I wanted from a school life romance. There was just something about this manga that was special to me, and that was Futa Ijime Romantic. Oh, I love it. Oh, I've steamed up my glasses. I actually read the first 2 volumes in 2023, but the last volume, volume 3, yes, we only got 3 volumes, which is a heartbreak in itself, but I read volume 3 last year and It was great. It was the best volume out of all three. It's a manga that I'm definitely going to be going back to multiple times purely because of the romance and the comedy side of this. It was everything I wanted from a shoujo romance. It kind of takes the mickey out of traditional shoujo tropes, but even though it does that and takes the mickey out of shoujo, it made me fall in love with that type of manga all over again. Oh, it's just so good. If you are someone that likes teaching romance trope, this whole story is about our female lead, Komamori, teaching our male lead, Tajumi, romance. And to add to that pot of greatness, we have a fluffy sunshine, sees the light in everything, female lead, and grumpy AF, male lead. What a combo. I mean, what a freaking combo. Komamori is so forward and purely herself through and through. She doesn't care how anyone sees her. She's like, yeah, I love all of that romance side of stuff. I'm all this, I'm gushy. I want a romantic first kiss. I want everything in my life to be romantic. And then to having Tajumi being like, that is so lame. Like, why would you even want that? To then him going, oh, well, why don't you teach me romance? Seeing their relationship blossom and the way they go through these teaching moments, the chemistry between them both is fire. The art style and the drawing of the eyes, I think it's another reason why I'm obsessed with it, honestly. It's a fluffy, wholesome, doesn't take themselves too seriously type of romance. Like, all the fluffiness you want, the ditziness, they don't take themselves too seriously, and it's adorable. I'm just obsessed. I would read about these two as adults. With this romance manga, it has my favorite, like, moment of them getting together. Like, when one of them asks the other to go out, it was perfection. The projector room, in case no one is getting what I'm saying and they've read it, because they kind of have a situation where they ask each other out, but then it's not clear if they have, and so they have like a redo, and I'm talking about the redo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I loved it. I loved it. Anyway, read it, people. Now, before we get into number one, let's go through my honourable mentions, because there's quite a few and I couldn't not include them in the video. First up, the ones that had the potential to make it to the top 10. However, I haven't read enough of the series yet, so I haven't really witnessed any proper romance, and that is Nina the Starry Bride, Queen's Quality, and Fall in Love False Angels. I mean, all three of them, a series that I love. Even Fall in Love False Angels, I only read volume 1. Then others that I just loved, and sadly they just didn't make the list. That is Even If I Slip My Mouth, The Saviour's Book Cafe in Another World, Shakira Khan Only Has Eyes for Me, and a childhood friend, now a bartender, offers me potent lessons in love. Then we have some which are in the early volumes, they were top tier. They would have made the top 10 list. However, the volumes that I read in 2024 just weren't as good as the earlier volumes. Doesn't mean I don't love the manga. I still love the romance manga, but it's just not on par with the new mangas I've read this year. And that is Love That's an Understatement, Loving Yamada Level 999, and Pink 2 Habanero. Then we have the romance that I love, but it's a subplot. It's really in the sidelines. It's more an action fantasy manga, and that is Yona of the Dawn. And then lastly, the one shot I read at Christmas that came in number 1, Santa Claus Blue. Please make this into a series. I would read it, but it's a one shot. I can't have it in my top 10 romance reads of 2024. That would be offensive, but this was the perfect shoujo one shot. Read it. We are here at number 1. My goodness, this has actually been a top manga read from 2023 through to 2024. That is how good this romance is. It's a shonen, slice of life, school life romance. Volume 15 actually got released on the 8th of January, but that's the Japanese version, so I don't have access to the English version yet. And it also is getting an anime adaptation coming out this year. So if you haven't guessed what it is, the winner of 2024 Romance Manga Reads is The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. I love it, I love it. I know I've said that so much in this video, but this is a different love. This is a love that has been with me for years and has never disappointed me, ever. Every single volume, we are getting fed. Like, it has no misses. And my favorite volume is volume 13. And why is that? It's because we get our first kiss. And if you're someone that likes a slow burn romance and it's strangers to friends to lovers, this is it. And it is done right. We have Rintaro, our scary looking but actually sweet as sugar male lead, and then we've got Karuko, who is our very short, he's really tall. It's just the cutest little thing ever. Her personality paired with Rintaro's personality, they bring out the best sides of each other. I actually can't with them. From their meet cute, to their confession that they like each other, to their first kiss, and now to their relationship a bit further down the line. Everything has been beautiful. It really has. I think this is my favorite meet cute out of any romance manga I've read. And then they become friends to lovers. Karuko seems to be that confident, collected person at the beginning. She's so forward with Rintaro when they're friends, but the roles reverse a little bit when they start going out. She gets a bit more timid. And then Rintaro, we see him become more confident in himself and with her throughout their journey together. Makes me blush, honestly, makes my heart flutter. And don't get me started on the other characters. I'm absolutely in love with all of them. One thing that stands out in this manga as well is the fact that we really get to know both of them, including their friends, their lifestyles, their aspirations, their families. Like, I feel like I know them through and through, and it's just so thick. The plot is thick, the detail is great. I feel like I'm part of their life, even though I'm not. It is honestly the best. Nothing can top it in my eyes at the moment, and I pray that the animation does it justice, because this deserves to reach so many more people, and I feel like anime does. So hopefully we get some new fans and we get 10, 15, 20 more volumes still to come. You have to read this. And that is the top 10 romance reads of 2024. What a list. What a list. I love them. I love them so much. And I can see myself rereading these series, but I need to prioritize new reads and manga series that I'm currently reading first before I even pick up any of those volumes. So I can't wait to read what your top 10 reads were, or top 3, as I said earlier. I really do want to know. If you have any videos that you want to see from me this year, do pop it down below. I'm planning to do a manga upload every Wednesday, because that's what won on the poll on the community tab. So Wednesdays are our manga days. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you next Wednesday. Bye guys.